Hello, Mark Sabatella with the Mastering MuseScore School here. In this lesson, we are going to look at how to complete an online quiz using the Teachable platform and a screen reader. So this is going to be an accessibility lesson where we talk about using the keyboard and screen reader to complete an online quiz. And I'm using my own school, the Mastering MuseScore School, as the example here, and the same concept should apply to any quiz on any Teachable school because the quizzes are a built-in Teachable feature. So right now I am on a lecture that doesn't have a quiz, but the next lecture does. So I'm going to go ahead and hit complete and continue.
Complete and continue button.
And press it. And it has now loaded the next page, which has the quiz on it. But as I am finding, often I can't rely on NVDA to read this page for me immediately. I might have to refresh it. So that's what I'm going to do.
Quiz Mastering MuseScore School. Clickable banner landmark button complete and continue. Navigation landmark heading level 2 base.
All right, so it's starting to read. Now what I will tell you is that sometimes it starts reading the quiz right away. It doesn't necessarily always read me the navigation material. So if it just starts reading a quiz for you, you might want to just stop that and navigate your way back to the top of the page. I'm gonna go ahead and press the shortcut to go to the next landmark.
Main landmark quiz heading level 2.
Great. I'm in the main landmark now, which is the quiz. And now what I want to do is actually start taking the quiz. And what I have learned through experience here is that I'm going to need a combination of different buttons. Sometimes I'm going to need tab, sometimes I'm going to need up, down arrow, and I don't have a good intuitive feel for this, but I'm learning as I go. I am going to just press the down arrow right now.
Quiz.
And that's because quiz is a label here that it's there was a heading quiz, and then below that it says quiz again, and it looks just like that on the screen also. I'm going to hit down arrow again.
1/11.
The next line was 1/11. That's telling me this is question number 1 out of 11 questions. I'm going to press down arrow again, and it's going to read the actual question.
The pattern for a minor triad is.
So it just read the question. The pattern for a minor triad is. If I press down arrow again, I know what's going to happen. It's going to read all 4 answers like boom, 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 and I'm not going to stop. And I don't want that. So I'm going to use tab now so that it reads them, because they're basically checkboxes. So I'm going to press tab to go to the first checkbox here.
The pattern for a minor triad is 1 3 5 1 flat 3 5 1 flat 3 flat 5 1 3 sharp 5 1 3 5 toggle button not pressed.
Okay, so it did read them all first. I guess it wants to read them all first. But then it did go back and reread the first one, 1 3 5. I'm a little surprised it did that because I don't remember it doing that in rehearsal for this. But it's that's this, we're exploring as we go, right? So, but it did read 1 3 5. The question was the pattern for a minor triad, and that's not the right answer. I'm going to go ahead and press tab, and hopefully it'll just read me the second answer.
1 flat 3 5 toggle button not pressed.
Good. I'm going to go shift tab just to hear the first one again.
1 3 5 toggle button not pressed.
Good. Now I'm going to go back down to the second one.
1 flat 3 5 toggle button not pressed.
All right. If you know music here, the pattern for a minor triad is indeed 1 flat 3 5. So that's what I want. So I'm going to press space bar to select this answer and pay attention to what happens.
1 flat 3 5 1 flat 3 flat 5 1 3 sharp 5. Check. Pressed.
All right, so what happened is when I pressed the space bar, it read the answer that I just checked, and then it went and read the rest of the answers too. There might be some way around that, I don't know, but I'm telling you that if you just press the space bar, you can totally expect that to happen. And then it read the word check. That is because a button just appeared that says check on it. That's the button that will let me know if I've selected the right answer or not. Right now, so far I've selected that answer, but it hasn't told me if it's correct or not. So I need to get to that check button. And so I'm going to press tab until I get to that check button.
1 flat 3 flat 5 toggle button not pressed. 1 3 sharp 5 toggle button not pressed. Submit answer button.
Submit answer is the actual name of the button. So it's labeled check, but depending on what's going on, you might hear it read check, you might hear it read submit answer. It's the same button. So I want to check my answer, so I'm going to press spacebar.
Correct. Continue.
So it read correct because it is correct, and then it said continue. Now, I have found that sometimes it reads continue first and then correct. Either way, though, I think we will find the focus is on the continue button. So when I press spacebar, it's going to press the continue button and load the next question.
Continue button, and a major triad is A C E A C sharp E A C E flat A.
I'll stop it there. So it immediately started reading the next question. This didn't actually load a new page, it just loaded new content within one area of this page. So it's starting to read this question. And at this point, I know that the focus is probably I had recently pressed the continue button. Uh, on the previous question, this question doesn't have a continue button because I haven't selected an answer yet, but there is a back button here, and I think the focus is on that back button. So anyhow, I'm going to have to move back up to the beginning of the question is what I'm getting at here. So in NVDA, there's a shortcut to move back to the beginning of the container you're in. It's a shift and then NVDA comma, and that's what I'm going to do to get me back to the beginning of this question.
Less.
Ooh, I thought that was going to do it. Did it not? Let me try just shift comma.
Quiz heading level 2.
There we go. So quiz heading level 2. So now I'm going to hit the down arrow so it can start reading the question to me.
Quiz.
Quiz is, again, just a label. The word quiz shows up twice. It really does. Now it's going to read me that it's, well, here.
2/11.
Right, because this is question number 2 out of 11. And now I'll hear it read the question.
And a major triad is?
It says a major triad. And here, it's really the letter A. It's really an A major triad. It's a musical letter A. It's just NVDA didn't know to read it that way. So there's my question. And now I know again that if I hit the down arrow, it's going to read all 4 answers and not give me a real opportunity to do anything. If I press tab, it might just read the first answer. That's because really I want to get control onto the first answer and hear what it is. So I'm going to press tab.
ACE toggle button not pressed.
Good. I remember on the previous one, when I went tab, it went and read the whole thing for me and then came back and read the first one. It seems sometimes it does one, sometimes it does the other. But my first choice is ACE. And the question was about an A major triad. That's not the right answer. So I'm going to press tab.
A C sharp E toggle button not pressed.
That's the right answer, A, C sharp, E. But I want to get one wrong so we can see what's going to happen if I get one wrong. I'm going to press tab again.
A C E flat toggle button not pressed.
All right, it asked about an A major triad. A, C, E flat is not a major triad. It's a diminished triad. I'm going to go ahead and select it anyhow.
Check. Pressed.
So at this point, I have selected my answer and a button shows up labeled check, but I need to get to that check button. So I'm going to press tab until I get to that check button, which again, remember, is going to read submit answer.
A C sharp E sharp toggle button not pressed. Submit answer button.
There we go. So here's the submit answer button. I'm going to press it and let's see what happens.
Incorrect. Continue.
So now there is an incorrect, and it told me it was incorrect, and it gave me a continue button so I can move on. I don't actually know if it's possible to then try again. Right now, I believe the continue button has focus, but let me just go ahead and try to see if I can correct myself. I'm not sure what will happen. I'm going to go to the previous button.
A C sharp E sharp toggle button not pressed.
That's wrong.
A C E flat toggle button pressed.
That's the wrong answer that I already picked.
A C sharp E toggle button not pressed.
That's the correct answer. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. Oh, you know what? It doesn't let me select it. Once I've checked my answer, it's not going to let me select that. It's not even going to let me try again. I think on some quizzes you're allowed to try multiple times, and on other quizzes you're not. I think this one is not. So I'm just going to get back to that continue button.
A C sharp continue button.
All right, so now I'm on my continue button, and I can press it.
An E B flat minor triad is E flat G flat B E.
And I'm on the third question. And it's going to be the same story. The focus is now actually on a back button at the end of this question. So I'm going to want to go back to the beginning of the section.
Quiz heading level 2.
And now I can read with the down arrow, read again the word quiz again,
quiz.
and then it'll read 3 out of 11.
3/11.
And then finally, the third question.
An E-B flat minor triad is.
So that gives you the process. You've seen how to navigate from question to question. You've seen how to answer a question, how to check your answer. You've seen what happens if you get it right. You've seen what happens if you get it wrong. And yeah, it's a little fiddly, but it does work. You can take a quiz on a Teachable course using nothing but a screen reader and your keyboard.